Hello, welcome to another episode of Vampire Therapist.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. How are you feeling tonight?
Let's see what he wrote on. Sorry. Oh, no. Went a little bit too far. I actually want to just see the email. No! Couple of months ago, the email. Yep. Okay, kind of. Hmm. I wish I had a magic journal like that. This too. Ooh, no, no, no. Damn it. Okay, fine.
Not bad, not bad. A little overwhelmed, but guess I kind of have a lot going on these days.
So yeah, Sam here is the therapist, um, who basically is a therapist in training, and yeah, he has a few clients he sees, and we look at their cognitive distortions, basically trying to shed light to them, and with recognition, try and break the cycles. Just
Indeed, you do. The mind is an easy place to get lost in, is it not?
and Andromachos is basically the vampire therapist. He is a couple of thousand years old, and he has basically learned this a lot of it by himself, and then decided to sort of add in like read actual psychology, um, and that's how some of these got added in here as well.
You ain't kidding. Keeping all them cognitive distortions in my head and sorting through all my clients' problems ain't easy.
We are not machines, Samuel. I believe you will find that you can never handle everything at once. There is a term the mortals use these days multitasking. It's a kind of meta control fallacy. Even we must handle thoughts one at a time.
I guess. I just hope I can concentrate on my own therapy with all this stuff bouncing around in my noggin.
I do not expect you to be an exception to the rule, my dear fellow. Let us see whether we can clear your head.
This is therapy time now.
I would like to introduce you to a ritual I have learned for stilling the mind.
We're gonna go into meditation.
This some kind of ancient vampire secret? Something the old ones gave you that's been lost to time? Something mortals could never imagine?
I think it's something newer than that.
No, it's just meditation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
That does not make the technique any less valuable. Now then, close your eyes. I will guide you through this process.
Meditation is really good thing, good technique to have. I would say I prefer breathing techniques a lot more than meditation. Meditation is one of those things. Not everyone should try it. If you have um, if you have traumatic past, especially stuff that you have not fully cleared, I would highly suggest do not do meditation on your own. If you want to try it, talk to a therapist or a psychologist, psychiatrist first. Because the problem with meditation is that it can basically, those traumatic things are basically kind of locked away in the head. Meditation can sort of ease the defenses around those, and it can come right back at you. I personally prefer breathing techniques and stuff like this because they're less. I don't know entirely how to explain it, but it doesn't take away the defenses, but it lowers your body's reaction to a perceived threat. Um, so yeah, it's just one of those things. Like if you have traumas in the past, it's worth keeping that in mind that they may resurface with meditation.
Think of a place that brings you comfort. Where is it?
I'd have to say the woods. I always liked being in nature.
Then imagine the woods and let your thoughts come to you. Be attuned to your body. Breathe, and you will be able to address your thoughts and clear your mind. Now close your eyes and begin.
sure is a tall glass of water. I miss my princess. I kinda miss farting. Focus, Sam, focus.
I acknowledge thoughts.
Who's got a pretty mane?
Sorry, I'm just actually just kind of breathing with it as well. How do I acknowledge? Ooh. Ah, the thoughts slow down with breathing. This word. Sorry, what?
Wonder what's on Batflix. Should I hook up with Reinhardt?
Sorry, what? Oh, did that see that one coming?
I'm so bad at meditating.
Actually, very good. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. Okay.
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, all right. Fine, really. All them thoughts just feel like thoughts.
Yeah, that's the point.
What sorts of things came up for you?
Well, I thought about my clients. I thought about all them cognitive distortions. My horse came up a lot.
Your horse?
Yeah, Princess. She was my horse back when I was alive. I still think about her every day. I can't really stop.
I understand. I have bonded with many horses in my own life, but it sounds as though the loss of Princess was particularly fraught.
Yeah.
Would you like to start there?
Not sure I'd like it, but seeing as it's come up, maybe we should talk about what happened to her. It's got a lot to do with my old gang. I mentioned them before. The Mystic Bastards was their name. They were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose, and I had nothing to lose.
That sounds like some Nosferatu thinking, my friend.
Oh, I can see that now. But it turned out I still did have something to lose. And they took that from me to prove my loyalty. They took my princess, killed her in cold blood, and made me watch the whole thing. They made sure she saw me too.
Oh, Samuel, I'm so sorry.
No wonder that's on that's on his mind. Then
I just stood there, watching her dying, with them big eyes looking at me like she knew I'd betrayed her. They knew what it would take to break me, and it's my fault for letting them do it.
But Samuel, these Mystic Bastards, it sounds as though these loyalty tests were a cruel, mechanical part of their indoctrination process. These are the actions of a cult. They had no special care for you or your princess.
Well, sure as shit worked. They knew where to hit me, and it's my fault for letting it happen.
What they did, Samuel, had little to do with you personally. You were vulnerable, and they took advantage. This is what cults do. But Samuel, you are exhibiting a cognitive distortion known as personalization. You are attributing the Mystic Bastard's actions entirely to your own supposed failings. While it is natural to grieve for your horse, holding yourself solely responsible is neither fair nor accurate.
what did we just lose?
Hold on a head's hurting. I can't hold on to all them distortions all the time. Ain't personalization a lot like a control fallacy?
Control fallacy.
An astute observation, Samuel. Personalizations are often a form of control fallacy. While control fallacies often manifest as a belief that you have more control over external events than is actually the case, personalization is a more specific tendency to believe that external events are reactions to you. But let us leave control fallacies out of the picture for now. You are correct that keeping all distortions in mind at once is unrealistic. I would not interrupt your thoughts if I did not think personalization important. You are shouldering the blame for Princess's death. I can see that.
Well, if it ain't my fault, who else's is it?
The cults.
The Mystic Bastards, of course. Let me put it into perspective for you. I will make a series of statements, and you help me identify the personalization distortion. I overslept in my coffin because I forgot to set my alarm. I bit Crimson's neck last night and missed the vein because I was distracted. It was entirely my fault. Batflix raised my subscription price again because they knew I would pay no matter what.
Well, that's the personalization. Batflix has no earthly clue who you are. They just raise their subscription prices anyway.
Just as your gang planned to isolate members from their former lives. Do you see the connection?
I guess so. I was just too stupid to see it at the time.
Calling yourself stupid is what distortion?
Yeah, it's labeling. But I should have known anyway. I knew that crew was bad news. I just thought I was bad news too.
You should have known. That's another distortion of reality, Samuel.
All right, fine. Should statement, whatever. So what the hell am I supposed to do, Andy? Say nothing's ever my fault and I don't gotta know nothing?
Okay,
I
that's
was
just good.
responsible for getting that beautiful horse killed. She trusted me, and if I'd been someone else, she wouldn't have had to die in that awful way.
I am not asking you to lie to yourself. Far from it. And I am not suggesting that you absolve yourself of all responsibility. But what would you say if a friend came to you with the same story? Would you tell them what they should have done? Would you call them stupid? You said yourself that you joined your gang because they were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose. I do not think this is a circumstance most people choose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Remember, Samuel, we are trying to reframe our thinking by clarifying these distortions. I know it may feel as though I am picking on you, but I am not. Let us forget what you should have done to make room for a different distortion. You are drawing a direct link from your emotion to the death of your horse. This is a distortion called emotional reasoning. I understand the guilt you feel, Samuel, but your guilt does not act on its own. This terrible thing, it did happen. And some choices you made undoubtedly created the circumstances for it to occur. You are not, but let us restrict your blame to what you have actually done.
I'm sorry. I get awful worked up when talking about my princess. You should have seen her, Andy. She had these eyes. She looked right into my tainted soul and still loved me.
I understand, Samuel. We feel tremendous guilt when we fail an animal. When we look at reality, it is not to dismiss our burdens, but to process them fairly. I would like you to understand emotional reasoning so you can see how emotions color our thoughts. Please listen, and call me out when I am using emotional reasoning.
Just having a double check. It's when you act on feeling present reality. Feelings alone don't define the world. Project our feelings onto the world.
I feel anxious. Perhaps it is the garlic naan I smell from the Indian restaurant next door. The mood in my club is somber tonight. I am sure it is a reflection of my own dark mood.
That's the emotional reasoning right there. I don't think them folk in the club know too much about how you're feeling.
Exactly. Our emotions can feel all-encompassing, and that is purely biological. We are animals, Samuel. There is a small cluster of brain tissue at the base of the cranium that tells us we are safe or that we are about to die. The complexity of our existence is at odds with our biology, but we have the logic to recognize it.
Well, if reincarnation's a thing, I think I'd rather come back as a horse.
It is indeed a boon and a curse to have human complexity of thought.
No kidding. If I were a horse, I'd know better than to join any cowboy gang, let alone the Mystic Bastards. I'd be happy with a bag of oats and a field to run around in.
How did you end up with the Mystic Bastards in the first place?
Well, like I said, I didn't have much choice. Nobody would have taken me in at that point, except a hangman, maybe. I wasn't a vampire yet, so hanging didn't sound too appealing. The last job I did got my brother killed, and after that, my wife left with my daughter and I never saw him again. Can't say I blame her. I didn't have nobody. Ain't no surprise that a vampire gang would be the only people to take me in.
Aha, so that is how you turned.
Yes, sir. It wasn't pleasant. Not the candlelight and writhing bodies sort of affair you see in mortal vampire stories.
That is terrible, Samuel. The turning is never easy. How did they find you?
That job that got my brother killed, we partnered up with one of them Mystic Bastards for it. He knew where to find me.
And he knew you were vulnerable and that you had no place to go.
Yeah.
I've thought about that. Were they setting me up all along? Maybe. But whether they were or not, I really didn't have any place to go. I know when them wanted dead or alive posters go up, folk find dead easier and more fun. People saw me as outlaw scum when I was a kid, and there was no way they were going to be kinder knowing I was in a gang.
You know this for a fact. You are certain that no one would have any pity on you at all, that your only recourse was to join your gang?
I guess I don't actually know that no one but the bastards would have taken me in. Sounds like a cognitive distortion, huh?
I think you see the patterns now. It may seem like pedantry, and perhaps it is, but pedantry is the search for ultimate truth.
Yeah, therapies. What I have learned is basically pattern recognition, recognizing when you start thinking a certain way, and trying to break that cycle. Realize where basically where the distortion is, break the distortion cycle, and start seeing beyond that distortion.
Spoken like a true pedant.
It comes with being terrifyingly old. You discovered the cognitive distortion before I could point it out to you. It is a cognitive distortion similar to Nosferatu thinking, so let us put that particular distortion out of our minds for now. Yes, things were grim for you, but your experiences caused you to assume that there were none who would favor you with a kind eye.
And yeah, that is also very true. Our past do trying to think how to phrase it properly. Basically, there are cognitive functions based on experiences. How this is also sort of why childhood is so important, because we learn things from our parents, how they react to things, or other adults. Um, there we learn externally and internally, and there are, depending on which type of school of psychology you believe in, there are different, like for example, there are things like, for example, you see things externally and then you realize you have your internal world, and those two start clashing, and that's where like different especially in childhood, and different like learning stages happen, like like emotionally and cognitively. So when you start realizing that like internal external world, like for example when you're a child, like very small child, you don't really realize that there is external world around you. It's basically the baby's needs, hungry, tired, all these kind of things. And then slowly, as a baby grows older and older, start realizing like, oh, there is external world. And then eventually those start like mixing, like for example learning that when something goes out of sight, it doesn't disappear completely, it is still there, it's just out of sight. So there are these kind of like learning things. um yeah, I'm talking in more like um I mean, I'm talking very theoretical, because theory is what I'm learning. But yeah, these like different stages of I guess social learning, where we learn how different people interact with each other. We see them interacting with one another, and we start sort of taking some of those lessons in. So, for example, if you do live with someone who is abusive or neglectful when you're a child, you start taking lessons from their behavior onto your internal world. and also like like in his Sam's case, it sounds like he grew up basically being unwanted by other people, them thinking he's up to no good and stuff like this. It gets internalized into his way of thinking and his cognition, like literally how his brain works, how he thinks. Like cognitive functions are literally how brain takes in the external world and interpret. Nope, cannot say that word today. Basically just handling the external information, fitting in with the what you have already inside your head. And like for example, therapy is very helpful in also fitting those two worlds, like the internal world versus external world. Like yeah, here he is like, yep, he used to feel like he was up to no good. He was taking other people's opinions about himself, and in therapy he's now going through them and realizing like, actually, like Andromachus really likes him. Like he thinks he will be a good therapist, especially like he's already started the on the journey of becoming a good therapist. He recognizes things in himself and others, and that went a lot longer than I thought it would.
You were exhibiting the cognitive distortion of overgeneralization, the idea that no mortal could accept you. This clouded truth made you vulnerable to the mystic bastard's approach.
Damn. Maybe we went wrong, huh? I should have joined the Foreign Legion or something. Dang it, should statement.
Your mind is not a cognitive distortion shooting gallery, Samuel. Cut yourself some slack. All we seek is recognition of our distortions, not perfection and not punishment. Let us test your ability to recognize overgeneralization. Then I believe we will have covered enough for tonight. Allow me to begin.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into the notes. I kind of may have gone into my own head with trying to figure out how to explain cognitive, what cognition is. Which is when we take two experiences and then assume that future experiences will always be the same. Mortal overgeneralize when they think all vampires date high scores. When not in Twilight, based on that vampire book they read. Right, and movie. We know that we've experienced, but it's a distortion to think experience represent a pattern on the whole of something.
Elder vampires are insufferable. They all think they know everything.
I mean, I'm gonna say that is fun.
Ain't you an elder vampire? You don't seem like much of a know-it-all.
That's right, Samuel. Though in all honesty, I used to be quite insufferable myself. I aspire to be more patient these days. Let me continue. It seems to me that being a werewolf is pretty rough.
Sorry.
Well, that's kind of an overgeneralization, ain't it? You don't really know what being a werewolf is like.
I agree, but I only said that it seemed to me that being a werewolf was rough.
Separate personalization. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, well, that dog joke has got to be a distortion of some kind.
No, it is just a bad joke. Vampires from Transylvania all have funny accents. I want to suck your blood. Who talks like this?
That seems like an overgeneralization, Andy. I ain't sure any of them ever sounded like that. Pretty sure they all sound American these days anyway from watching bat flicks all the time.
Correct, Samuel. I apologize for the offensive accent. It was employed only to prove a point. Well done, Samuel. Your ability to identify cognitive distortions continues to impress. But let us bring things back to you. I do not ask you to absolve yourself of the things you have done. You did not have the tools to be mindful of the thought patterns that made you vulnerable to the mystic bastards. I have seen mindfulness take root in you, though, Samuel. I hope this session has been helpful to you.
Yeah, I'm still sad. I'm still regretful about Princess. I think I'll always be. My not being mindful is what killed her. Every time I think about it, I just know I'm a terrible person who messes everything up. But I think the awareness helps.
It does. Then please tell me what cognitive distortion you just exemplified.
Mm-hmm.
Was it emotional reasoning, overgeneralization, or personalization?
It's personalization. Princess death wasn't something I directly caused. It just feels that way.
Good, Samuel. But you will also find it is also emotional reasoning to link your pain to Princess's death and an overgeneralization to say that you are a terrible person who messes everything up. Remember, cognitive distortions are not a cudgel to beat yourself with.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. If we're spouting cognitive distortions all the time, ain't my clients gonna be mad at my constantly interrupting them?
You continue to impress. Yes, we cannot bully our clients with distortions. Thus, I find it is best to clear our minds and focus on a few during each session.
I think a lot of therapists wish they could bully their clients with distortions. It might make their lives a lot easier.
Keeping endless distortions in mind is not easy for a therapist either, after all. I think we have done excellent work tonight, and I'm certain you've built up a thirst. I know this evening was emotionally intense. Ask Crimson for some scotch.
Drinking booze ain't exactly compatible with our biology, Andy.
By scotch, I mean Scottish blood.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
iron
okay.
and quite delicious. I age it in whiskey barrels.
That
Right.
sounds pretty nice. I might just do that and call it an early night.
As you wish, Samuel. Rest well, and do not lasso yourself so tightly, as you say. You are deserving of love, especially from yourself.
Also, a good point is therapy can make you tired, especially when you have to dig in very deep. It's a good idea to just take it easy for the rest of the day and just do something relaxing.
I'm just gonna leave before I get more embarrassed.
Very well, Samuel. Rest in peace, my friend.
We're gonna go to the scotch now. Oh dear. Oh, is it already the next day?
Samuel, greetings. You are seeing Dr. Drain again tonight, yes?
Okay, so that concludes this episode. So yeah, take it easy on yourselves, relax, do something you enjoy, and just take care of your mental health. Bye.